Good morning. It is another day of working in the shop. We are working on the Bombi today. Look, Rhett's already started.
Yeah, got some welding done already.
What are we working on, Tom?
We got the Ford 9-inch last week. We're gonna start stripping this thing down, chopping it down, and then putting it back together.
That's the new drive for the Bombi. So we don't know if this is going in the Bombi or the Killer Bee, but it's going in one of them.
The Bombi.
What's wrong with this and what are you gonna make right about it?
Well, it's too wide, so we gotta make it narrower, and it has all the wrong gears in it. So we gotta pull the third member out, measure, chop, weld, fit. Do you remember, you told me you were starting to remember where this thing came from.
Yes, this was by one of my derby trucks. And I didn't want to run this axle. They let us run full floater, so of course I put a 14 bolt in it.
So this got pulled out of a truck that you derbied.
Yeah. And I flipped that truck at Eagle Mountain.
Yeah, Junkie! Oh my God!
People have been using these for everything, forever. These came in Broncos, people swapped them into hot rods and race cars. All kinds of vehicles use the Ford 9-inch. So it makes sense that one is going into a Bombi because they go into everything. You can buy an entire Ford 9-inch that's not even made by Ford anymore. You can buy the housing, the differential, the ends, the axle shafts. So these axles have been put in everything.
They're universal fit. We have been on top of each other like ever since we've had this yard. This is a tiny, tiny shop.
You've expanded it a couple times, but it's still tiny.
Every time I expand it for the purpose that I want, it gets
Repurposed?
yes, it gets repurposed. So that addition was all supposed to be shop space and it's
Okay.
office. This morning, the excavator showed up and we broke ground for the new bays. Look at that bucket. Holy smokes. We're putting in 2 bays and a whole bunch of office space.
And a chicken coop.
And a
Kid,
go-kart track.
Maybe even a break room. We could take breaks.
We're gonna have a break room and a jib crane.
A jib crane.
Yes.
I'm excited about that. And a shower.
Oh yeah.
Not that you can tell how we smell, but it's not good. I feel like this is gonna go everywhere. I have no idea. Maybe all the goo's drained out of this thing as it's been moved around, but probably not. How do you think I get it apart, Ed?
That one's going in the bottom.
Well, just gonna take a bigger hammer again.
Yeah, well, we started it with
Big
that.
hammer, huh?
There it is.
Oh, it's a beauty. Now it's gonna be nice and light. We can shorten it down, chop all this junk off of the housing, and clean it up.
I want to take this apart.
Just for funsies.
Well, not necessarily for funsies. I want to see what it's going to take to make it oil.
Are we running it upside down? Oh, gotcha.
With a little foresight, we would have done this before we took the whole thing apart so that we could get a hold of it.
We'll have to have some of that in the future.
Future foresight. Coming to a YouTube channel near you.
Someday. Got her.
So the oil coming up through those gears is going to hit, go down. I don't think we're going to have any oiling problems. We've got to connect this to this for strength, and it's going to look like this. That all needs to be shiny and relatively smooth. Gross. So you got your work cut out for you.
Okay.
So this is going to be going probably not that high. A little lower, a little bit lower.
Oh, yeah.
Probably going to be like right here.
Right in there.
Made for tough out of shitty stuff.
Perfect.
This is our technical drawings portion of the build. It's a 12 tooth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a 12 tooth.
That's never gonna work.
So if we time the belt properly. So if this is 12 inches right here, then we need to be 8 inches from the center of that axle to the top of those tires. So right now, we're about 5.
So you go up another inch.
So we need to raise this up 1 inch.
I'm hoping nothing in this is ever going to break because we're not making that much power.
And we
You
can't,
can't
really
lock
put
it
50
up.
grams.
Yeah, you can't lock it up the way you can a tire. When tires are hopping and they get traction all of a sudden, that breaks things. But this can't do that. Unless you jump it.
We're gonna jump it. That's about where we're gonna be.
So you could get this all the way behind. So if you're bumping into anything, it's not.
But we're gonna have a big old deer catcher on this.
Put a stinger on the front.
Yeah. It's gonna have a,
A killer bee stinger.
yeah, on the back. It's gonna have
And
big
on the
old
front.
bug eyes on the front. Okay, well, we're gonna figure this out, spare you the gory details, and
We'll show you what we do.
yeah, we'll show it. Good morning. It is another day of working in the shop. We're working on the Bombi today. Tom, what are we working on?
We're gonna start on the axle. We gotta clean that thing up, strip it all down, chop it off, weld on new ends, get it back in there.
But first, we have got to get these tires measured accurately so that we can get the tracks ordered that fit the new and improved Killer Bee. I'm calling that 6 3/4.
Okay. So I just got a message that Flog's done with our parts. Should we go pick those up?
Send Rhett to go grab those, and then we'll just put him on that today.
Alright, so I've been sent to go over to Flog and pick up the parts that we need to help strengthen the Bombi. So that's what I'm going to go do. Alright, so I've made it to Flog, so I'm going to run in there and grab the parts.
Oh, look at that. Cracked.
That's the
Did you do that?
That's the rumbling we felt.
Oh, wow.
Both me and Tom remarked when we spun this, we're like, that's rough.
Now we know why. Good thing you didn't run it in your derby.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, friends, we're gonna go get the big tool, slide it in there, and show you how it works. So when we assemble this into the axle, we'll slide this bar through and then put other guides on the ends.
Then these go right here. One on each end, and then we can weld these on. And when we pull everything apart, it'll be straight.
Straight enough.
Let me tell you a story about this precision rod here. Tom ordered this, and then he wasn't going to be here when it got here. And he went around and individually told every person, like 25 people, that if this part comes in, to not bend it or cut it or modify it in any way. And then he kept checking on us.
Fortunately, Heffy sent me a picture while I was gone that showed the bar tucked away in a safe spot so I could quit worrying about it. Because I'm sure this would have got welded into something while I was gone. They would have been like, that's a cool piece of steel. And it would have got welded into a project.
I'm not saying he's wrong.
Be careful with that.
I would love to cut this in half and weld it in to something.
He would too.
That is crazy. That is machined. Where do you even keep a tool like this?
I don't know. I might take it home.
All right.
Oh, let's show them this other cool jig. Ours is upside down because that's how we're doing it.
Yep, this just tells us where the ends of the axles are going to be and where the center line of the pinion is. All of our measurements are coming out.
Okay, so we got a little math to do.
Well, we know this is the center line.
Yep,
So
but we got to work back from 51 inches from our wheel width.
here's my question. Okay, this represents the wheel width.
Okay?
Okay. This represents the middle of the wheel. And if we have 0 offset,
Uh-huh.
is 0 in the center of that or is 0 on the mounting surface?
I would say the mounting surface.
I would say so too. Okay, next thing. Here is the sprocket we're getting from Snowcat Supplies.
Okay.
Is the same true with that? We could err on the narrow side and we could always put
shim out.
Shim it out. Do you want to
Can't
just
shim in, yeah.
Should we err on the side? Should we make it a 1/2 inch narrower than it needs to be?
And then add a 1/2 inch shim
If we need to.
If we need to, sure.
Okay.
That's safe. All right, so we'll add a 1/4 inch shim on each side.
If we have to.
So with that, we will go do the math.
So a lot of people think that I'm a hack and Tom's precision. We're both hacks,
And both very precise.
but we arrive at that precision completely different paths. Completely.
There's a time and a place for everything.
What are you saying, man?
But it wasn't personal.
It felt personal. Okay, let's do this.
So let's add all these up. That's going to be 1 and 4, so that's 5, and another 5, that's 10. It's 13.75 that we have to,
Subtract from 51.
yeah, we're good. 18 5/8 is our number.
Okay, mark it. I think we should just cut it there.
Cut the middle of the, like cut that line in half. If you left half the line, you'd be on.
That's you. I would just cut it with a Sawzall. Eating a sandwich.
Or we could just do it with a zip disc.
That goes right there.
Look at that.
So these add a bunch of structure like this. So we'll do we'll notch them with the grinder so they fit tight. And we'll put them front and rear. That'll get us in contact with the most amount of metal. These are gonna be awesome.
You're testing our housing end.
I know you've been dying.
So these housing ends are designed to slip into the inside of the axle and then you weld all the way around. But ours is not gonna go in. So we'll probably have to take it over to the machinist, have him turn this diameter down a little bit so this will go together. This was a big unknown. We didn't know what the idea of this tube would be. Which I like that this wall's really thick, but that's not gonna drop in.
We're just meeting problems and defeating them one at a time.
So you guys decided, no machinist, you are the machinist.
Maybe no. Let's tilt it, like level it up a little bit.
I'm
'Cause that
trying to.
tube's somewhere between 3/8 and half.
7/16 it is. So we've had a couple people tell us that the metric system is way, way better than the Imperial system we're using. We're gonna try that for a minute and see how it goes. Okay, so
Yeah, we're going metric.
yeah, so I need you to cut 1 3/8 of a centimeter off of the end of this pipe.
Gotcha. Gonna have to go by hand.
I can do it by hand. I
Okay.
ain't scared.
I ain't scared.
Yeah, I'm gonna draw you a really good line.
I ain't gonna follow it. You guys let me cut it.
Gonna wing it. Okay, give it a start. Not too shabby.
If you're wondering how good of a job we did, we used 3 tape measures.
That's a new record. This is gonna be really precise.
To the welding table. Use the rod to beat the child. That's my motto. Terrific motto. Nobody?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Don't know this one.
Matilda?
Matilda? Oh,
I haven't seen
okay.
that movie since I was like 5.
You gotta watch it again. It's better once you're grown up.
And use the rod, beat the child. That's my motto.
Look how out that is. That's quite a bit.
This one's out too. I know that the axles can take up a significant amount, but
These are way out of alignment with this to this, but the bar tells us that everything is true all the way through. So I'm thinking we just weld it together and that'll work better than anything else we could do. Ultimately, none of the position of the tubes or anything matter as long as the differential and the bearings in it are in line with these outer hubs and the bearing in these. None of the rest of it matters. What do you think? Just go for it? Just weld it in?
Yeah. How do you like this new welder?
It's great. I'm taking the root pass and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to MIG the second, maybe a third pass. So this welder is sweet because I can switch between the two super fast.
2 ways to melt metal together. So this welder is pretty cool. A lot of you don't have a shop like this where you've got can have room for dedicated big welders and dedicated small welders. This welder is like for the home hobby shop because it's a TIG welder and a MIG welder rolled into one.
It can also stick weld. This will do all 3 of them, which is
yeah.
awesome. It's all built into one machine.
And you don't have to, there's not like tricky like turn it off, dial it in. You can just go switch from one, whichever torch you pick up, it's ready to go.
So I've got my MIG torch right here because after I TIG this, I'm going to MIG the second pass. And if I pull the trigger, it'll switch over to the other machine and it's ready to go. There's no change in wires or flipping
bottles.
anything. I got both bottles on the cart and it'll just do it all.
And then, yeah, this knows how to do it.
So this is a Miller Multimatic 220 AC/DC welder. It's actually pretty powerful. Like there's nothing on this axle that it won't do. Probably nothing on the Bombi that it won't do. I mean, you could probably build the wrecker with this.
So this is good for small jobs and big jobs.
Yeah, this machine will do everything.
I've been using Miller welders for decades. I think Tom's been using them.
Yeah, since 1997. The first machines that I started on were Miller welders. We partnered with Miller because it just made sense. We've both been using these machines for over 25 years. Matt's shop is full of Miller machines. My shop's full of Miller machines. We love their products.
When we were at SEMA this last year, we were able to try this machine out. Lizzie actually did some welding and won a little competition.
Oh yeah, she was loving it.
Yeah. So we thought we'd bring one into the shop and try it out, and here we are trying it out. And Tom says he likes it.
We've also been using these Miller helmets with the Clearlight 2.0 lens. They're really great. Everything doesn't have that green hue to it. You can see it in natural light, and the lens is super crisp and clear.
It's made me an 11% better welder because I can see my work.
We'll take it. So I'm TIG welding the root pass on this side of the axle. Over here on this side, I've already done that. So I'm going to go ahead and MIG weld the second pass. And it switches this fast.
The original Bombi had foam-filled tires in them, and the first time I ever took one of these off, I was shocked at how heavy they were.
Whoa! Shocking!
Yeah, it's like,
What's in? That's
foam.
not foam. That's like rubber.
Well, yeah, that's what their foam-filled tires are super heavy.
Foam rubber.
They're very dense.
Yeah, they are.
And look at how the tire's ruined.
Yeah, it's not even on the foam. Like you can feel the gap.
So this little tire right here is heavier than one of those big tires right there.
Let me see. Oh yeah, that's lighter.
Crazy.
It's bigger and lighter.
Yeah. We're going to lunch.
This thing's all done. Welder worked awesome.
How are you doing?
Good.
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 You excited for this?
Yes.
Nice. All right, I'm here with Abby at the ribbon cutting for the All Abilities Park. We did it. We did it. We got it. Have you tried any of the stuff out yet?
Not yet. No.
Not yet. All right. We should do it today.
Yeah, we'll get you in there.
Good morning. Thank you for everybody for being here. We're thrilled to be able to celebrate this day with you.
But I think the main thing is this is for the kids. We've got Abby up here, and we're excited to have an opportunity to have a place for kids of all abilities to have a park, and so we really appreciate that.
And you know what? This is yours to keep as a memory that you actually cut the ribbon and you're an honorary person of Rotary. What do you think? You're welcome. Here you go.
All right. Abby, guess what?
What?
We have $10,000 to give to your family for a family vacation. Anywhere they want to go. Anywhere you guys want to go, up to $10,000.
Oh,
Oh
man.
my goodness.
Hefe right there. Hefe right there is gonna.
Oh,
So you guys be thinking where you want to go, and we'll get with you. So thank you guys so much. I
thank
just
you.
really appreciate you guys working
Appreciate
with
that.
us and partnering up with us on this project. Well, this is awesome. This was a huge success. Thank you guys so much for contributing. So many of you helped with this project, and thank you so much for all of you that support us just for watching the videos. That is huge. It allows us to do stuff like this, do good things for good people. It's amazing. Thank you.
We did it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're back from lunch. Let's look at this.
It is.
This is still hot.
cooking hot. Yes, it's been about 45 minutes.
Yeah. So
How do you think the bar? Do you think it'll just slip out, or do you think it's really pinned in there now? Oh, it rotates pretty good.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
There.
it's so hot.
There. They make these things for your hand.
Look, it's even colored. That's how hot it is.
It worked. How's our bar? Did it live?
Yeah.
Nice.
Now you can take it home.
We're gonna do more of those.
Perfectly straight. You know when you lick a frozen flagpole
Did you
And
lick
you-
the bar?
and you stick to it? If you lick that pole, the exact opposite will happen.
All right, I don't know what else to do with this.
I would like to put a drain plug in the bottom
Yeah?
and a field
And a
plug
filler on
out
the top,
here.
outside on the top.
Yeah, so that maintenance is easy. Future foresight coming to a YouTube channel near you.
Someday.
All right, what I'm doing here is I shouldn't really be concerned about it, but I am. I'm just worried about how long this is right here and the weight going up, especially on this front axle. This is the one that's going to take the beating. On the Bombi, the front axle was, both of them were bent. The old axles we took out were bent on the front right here. I can't do a lot of bracing up because the track comes right across here somewhere. But I think if I weld something in like this, that will offer a lot of support. So that's what we're gonna try. Once these are welded on, I think all of the heavy welding on the axles is done from the top side. We'll flip it over and weld them all on the bottom. So Rhett is our welder today, and he's doing a fine job at that. So each one of these axles gets one of these plates right here. It's gonna fit better than that. And then this pipe, once the ends are cleaned up, goes right through it. And this will connect all three of these axles together out here. Kind of take some of the side loading or front to back loading off of them. Anyway, it's just a little thing we're doing. All right, Rhett got these all welded on. It's time to flip it over and weld a whole bunch more. It is quite light.
You gonna go over?
Stop, Rhett.
It'll go. You're on.
Okay, let it down. All right, so we got a few comments, not from haters, not from people who don't pay attention or hate the channel, but like real legitimate comments that we're only welding the axles to this really thin tub and they're just gonna rip off. And that's how the original axles were welded on.
Did they ever rip off?
No, they didn't. Even when they said they would rip off, when I welded new spindles on, they didn't.
Still didn't rip
Still
off.
didn't rip off. So I'm thinking that these aren't going to rip off. But we're attaching them similar to the way they were, only this time a little bit better.
In the middle.
Yeah, because these are going to fill no matter how well we weld.
They're gonna get water in them somehow, yeah.
I'm thinking,
Sneaks in.
like
That's a lot of drainage.
that.
I think that's way more than you need. What are you gonna get in there?
I don't know.
Little squirrel?
Well, now, if he gets in there, he can get back out. You want a
Something?
plasma
Yeah,
cut?
plasma cut something in there.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah,
have to be very
easy.
pretty,
But they will be.
but they will be. This back axle is the tensioning axle. This is the one that gets all of the, like all the power that comes through the front drive sprocket has to wrap around this back axle before it actually gets to the ground. So this one needs to be bombed in really good. So, plus it has to be like dynamic. It has to be able to tighten the track. And on top of all that, these have to do that independently of each other. So after we bomb this in, we're gonna have to cut this in half and do some, whatever it is we do, we're gonna do that. Look how good of a job he did.
Told you they were gonna look good.
I just need 2 or 3 in the bottom of this.
Okay.
Never send Tom to do a sloppy job. That's what I always say.
I cheated.
I just remembered. The reason Jake's not here is because he's up at Lake Point Auto, hanging out with Gumby, picking up an engine for this Killer Bee.
All right, you guys, Gumby got me all loaded up. Got 3 transfer cases, got a 6.0, a 5.3. Now just strap them down, head back to Hurricane.
We have a lot of projects coming up. Hopefully he brings enough stuff back to power them all.
All by myself, don't wanna be. Well, it's quitting time, so we will see you tomorrow. We are back working on the Bombi. We've got Rhett here to do some more welding. Lizzie's back today. She's gonna be doing some welding. They're gonna be burning on this non-stop for till at least lunch.
Sounds good to me. I'm ready for lots of welding.
Let's do this.
So we're gonna make some custom like LS holders, and we're gonna use some scrap metal to make a little box that an LS can just bolt up to with the engine mounts and just have it for storage. Nothing crazy, nothing exciting, just something to store LSs in. So that's what we're doing.
Because we got projects.
Yeah, we do.
We just got done doing the welding on the axles.
It's super strong.
So this axle's got to get split in half because you have to be able to tension the tracks independently of each other.
Have you already been talking about track tensioning in general?
I haven't been boring them with it, if that's what you mean.
It's fascinating. Track tensioning, that's cool stuff. This axle has to swing back and forth, so this distance gets bigger right here, and that's what tightens up the track so it doesn't just fall off while he's out yanking people out of the snow.
That's correct, Tom.
Thanks, Matt. What are you doing?
Building the thing you just said.
Awesome. How's your tensioning system going to work? Are you putting those on both sides, or
Yeah.
are you going to weld one side and just squeeze?
Yeah, I'm gonna have it on both sides. We'll be able to take this out.
Okay, so we need to make 4 of those.
Yes. That's it right there. Do you think it's gonna hold? Is your side gonna hold, Tom?
Oh yeah, I give this one a hold for sure. You built the thing. You built the thing. Check that out.
Yeah, I've done what, a ramp now?
Yep.
And then a engine stand. Moving up in the world.
There's a lot of people that don't like us just throwing used engines in our equipment, but I want you to know that whatever you're driving has a used engine in it right now. Woo! We're gonna pick this up. We're gonna flippy flop it. Oh, look at that. Brand new set. Tell them the whole story.
Lots of welding.
Lots of it. Got the clamps for the axle on, so those are done.
Before, when we were flipping it over, there was always the danger of it slipping and crushing one of us. Now, it's not gonna do that.
I think we're all over the mat.
All right.
Little Bombi.
We did it.
Another safe way to do it.
So we found 3 safe ways to flip this over so far, maybe 4.
And how many unsafe ways?
All of them. So, I don't know if I said it before, but this cab was held on with 4 1/4-inch bolts before. These ones. This exact bolt that snapped when I took it off. We're gonna change that because I don't like that. So if you noticed some of the wheels weren't rolling, the reason that is because this back axle is not where it's gonna end up. It's actually gonna end up a little higher than the other 3 axles. That will help with steering and make it more squirrely to drive.
Was it squirrely before?
Oh, no. It just drove wherever it wanted to.
So that's squirrely.
No, squirrely's like, it was like, and slowly just turned this way. So as this wheel rotates to tighten the tracks, it's gonna come up. So I just eyeballed it. We didn't measure it. We just guessed. We're like, oh, that's higher or lower or whatever. It was the way I wanted it, about as much as I think I want it. Is this thing still raked downhill?
It's got a little bit of a rake.
I think this.
Let's put the.
What's that?
I think this tub has a rake to it.
Yeah.
Let's measure.
Okay. Measure. Well, part of it's because this back axle is high.
Yep, it's raked 1.5 degrees. So aerodynamics.
You were pushing for that point. Yeah. Downforce.
Yeah.
When you go around a corner, you don't want it to get loose. Okay, Tom, come look at this.
What do you got?
Let me tell you what needs to happen in here. One, this dashboard needs to attach to the floor.
Oh, I was just gonna get rid of it.
Yeah, it's got to go away.
Okay.
Yeah, we have got to figure out
A cool paint scheme.
how to add 8 inches. I think 8 inches is enough.
8 inches to this cab. So.
Or, hey, let's play around with some things actually. Get your chairs, kids. We might not need to extend the cab. There's been something I've been thinking about for a while.
Yeah,
So-
better seat arrangement? Let's
Grab-
all put the seats facing to the center.
Yeah?
So you drive it sideways?
Yeah.
No. I like what you're thinking, but no.
What did you think?
Yeah, you're gonna want.
You're gonna imagine it.
See, before the pedal was back here and the gas pedal was here.
You could go all the
I
way
could
to
go
the
all
wall
the way
with the
here.
pedals.
Look how much leg room these guys have. Yeah.
That is a lot of leg room.
I don't think we need to stretch this cab.
Getting rid of this dash adds leg room.
Yeah. Before it had those Astrovan seats that weighed a ton and they were really far back. It was easy to get into, but if you remember, the sticks had all their room and then the shifter.
You need a bench like Dig Dug.
So these seats are obviously too high. They're totally wrong for what we're doing. The widest point is right up here,
Yeah.
right?
60,
I'm giving you 1/8 of an inch.
60 inches, almost exact.
Okay. Let's measure the Bronco. I just want to see front to back. So kind of put that back where that back panel would be. Okay, we are 7 feet. Okay, your seat will not fit in there.
No, the whole thing's not 60 inches wide here.
Yeah, we're 60 inches outside to outside. And we're about 76 inches.
So 8 inches shorter than the Bronco. 8 inches is exactly what we were talking about stretching it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about not stretching it. I'm thinking about that there was a lot of wasted space in the front, and then that gas hose was the #1 problem in the back.
Not stretching it, huh?
All right, this is what we got done this week on the Bombi. Thanks for watching.